Let's start explorations with integers. Here you can see a hollow integer grid. Now what we can see in this, in each row the numbers as well as in each column, when we add up all these numbers we will get the same number. We can call this sum as the border sum. Now here in this hollow integer grid, when we see to the top row, we are having the numbers 4, -1 and -3. When we are adding these integers, we are getting 4 minus 4 and that is 0. Now when we look after the bottom row, here the numbers we are having is -1, -1 and +2. When we are adding this becomes -2 plus 2 and that is also equals to 0. Now when we talk about the left column, the numbers are 4, -3 and -1. And again when we are adding it, we are getting the answer as 4 minus 4 which is 0. Now when we talk about the right column, we are having the integers as -3, 1 and 2. Here also when we add these integers, we are getting -3 plus 3 and that is also equals to 0. So what we are getting, the overall the border sum is 0, either we are adding the numbers row wise or either we are adding the number in column wise. So this is what's special about this hollow integer grid. Now when we look after to the figure it out, question number 1, do the calculations for the second grid above and then find the border sum. Here again we can see the grid. This is a hollow integer grid, and when we talk about top row, we are having the integers as 5, -3 and -5. When we add all these integers, we are getting 5 minus 8 and that is -3. Now when we talk about the bottom row, the integers are -8, -2 and +7. Again when we are adding these integers, we are getting the sum as -10 plus 7 and the total is -3. Now when we talk about the left column, we are having the integers 5, 0 and -8. And when we are adding these integers, we are getting the sum as 5 minus 8 which is also -3. Right column. When we talk about the right column, the integers are -5, -5 and +7. When we are adding these integers, again we are getting -10 plus 7 and again the total here is -3. That means the border sum of this hollow integer, either row wise or other column wise, we are getting as -3. Question number 2. Complete the grid to make the required border sum. Again here we are getting a hollow integer grid, but we need to fill the numbers to make the border sum as +4, either row wise or other column wise. When we talk about left column, we are having the integers -10 and 9. When we are adding this, we are getting the integer as -1. So what else number we can add with -1 to get +4? We know that it is +5 and 5 minus 1 is 4. So here we can write down 5. Now when we talk about top row, we are having -10, then what to add and again what to add to get the border sum as 4. So first let us eliminate -10 with +10. Now we are getting 0. After this, 0 plus 4 will give you 4. So the two integers can be 10 and 4. Now when we talk about right column, we are having the integers as 4 and -5. When we are adding 4 with -5, we are getting -1. Now -1 plus 5 will give you 4. So 5 can replace this column. Next is bottom row. In the bottom row, we are having the integers 9 and 5. So 9 plus 5 is 14. And we know that 14 plus -10 will give you 4. So here we can write down the number as -10. So now everywhere from all the row wise or the other from the column wise, we'll get the border sum as +4. Question number 2. Complete the grids to make the required border sum. Again, when we talk about the left column, we are having the integer as 6. What to add with 6 and again what to add to get the border sum as -2. First, let us add 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. And when we are adding with -19, we are getting the border sum as -2. Now, when we talk about the top row, we are having 6 and 8. We know that 6 plus 8 is 14. And now what to add with 14 to get -2? That is -16. So here we can replace the number. Now when we talk about the right column, we are having the integer as -16 and -5. When we are adding it, -16 and -5 will give us -21. Now what should we add with -21 to get -2? We know that it is 19. So -21 plus 19 will give us the integer as -2. So what we can say, the integer is 19. So here also we can see that either row wise or either column wise the border sum is -2. Next is an amazing grid of numbers. Here you can see, and these integers are arranged in such a way that there is a pattern in that. First of all, circle any number in this. Suppose -1, I am doing a circle. Now second step is we have to strike out the row and column of the chosen number. So now we have striked out the numbers. Now again we need to circle any unstruck number. So let it be -7. Again we'll repeat the process. We'll strike out the row and column of the chosen number. Now again we need to circle any number. Let it be -2, and again we will strike out the row and column. Now the last number which is left is 9, and again we will strike off the row and column of the chosen number. So now we will write down all the circle numbers, that is 1, -7, -2 and 9. When we are adding this, we are getting as -1. What sum we are getting after adding these numbers? Was it different from the first one? Let us try a few more. Now suppose I am circling 3 and I am striking off the row and column of the, then again I am choosing a number -1, again I will struck off the row and column, again I am circling a number -2, again I will struck off the row and column, the last one is -1. So you can see diagonally I have selected the circle numbers, and similar I have struck off the rows and columns. Now we'll write down all the circle numbers, that is P, -1, -2 and -1. Again when we are adding all this integers, we are getting the sum as -1. Now play the same game with the grids below. What answer we are getting? Again we can circle any number. Let us circle 1 and we will struck off row and column of the chosen number. Now again we will circle any other unstruck number. Let it be 7. Again we will struck off the row and column. Now we will repeat the process. We will circle another integer, that is -5, and we will strike out the row and column. Last one is -11. Again we will struck out the row and column. So the circle numbers are 7, 1, -5 and -11. When we are adding all these integers, we are getting -8. Next, again you can see this grid. Again we can repeat the process. First we need to circle any number. Let the number be -6. We'll strike out the row and column of -6. Now we will choose another integer. Let it be -11. Again we will strike out the row and column. Again we will repeat the process. We will circle any integer -1. Now we will strike out the row and column. Now the last number is 4. We will again strike out the row and column. Now we will write down all the integers which is circled, that is -11, -6, -1 and 4. And when we are adding it, we are getting the sum integer as -14. So this is what's special about this grid. Now we need to write down all the integer given pairs in increasing order. Increasing order means smaller to bigger. Now we can see that we need to write down the integer between 0 and -7. So the increasing order will be -6, -5, -4, -3, -2. So that we can see the increasing order is -6, -5, -4, -3, -2 and -1. So these are the integers between -7 and 0. Next, we need to write down the integer between -4 and +4. Again, before 4 it comes 3, before 3 it comes 2, then 1, then 0, then -1, then -2 and then -3. And when we are writing it in increasing order, it becomes -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So these are the integers in increasing order between -4 and +4. Similarly, you can do the same thing with C and D. Next is, there are two dice whose faces have these numbers. Now we are having two dice, and both the dice we are having 6 faces each one, and the numbers in that dice are -1, 2, -3, 4, -5 and 6. And when we are seeing the outcomes of by rolling the dice on both the face, suppose in both the dice we are getting -5 and -5, this will add up to -10, which is the smallest possible sum. And when we are getting 6 on both the dice, that is the largest possible sum, and that becomes 12. So let's play a game, my dear students. So first of all, we can see the integer between -10 and +12 are all this which you can see in the screen. Now let's roll down. Suppose we are rolling and -5 and 6 we are getting. The sum will be 1. And then let's roll down for the second one. Now we can see -3 and 4. The sum will be 1. So this is second possible outcome. Next again we are rolling down. That becomes -3 and 6. The sum will be 3. Again we will roll down. Now we are getting 2 and -3. The sum will be -1. Now you can see like this, there are many possible outcomes. So the numbers are -1, 2, -3, 4, -5 and 6. These are the 6 integers in both the dice, and when we are seeing the possible outcomes, you can see in the screen all these possible integers we can see we will be getting when we are rolling and we are adding the integers from both the dice. So we can see that here in this possible outcomes we can see that -8 we are getting, -6 we are getting, -3 we are getting, -1 we are getting, 1 we are getting, -4 we are getting, 5 we are getting, 4 we are getting, 6 we are getting, 8 we are getting, 10 we are getting, 3 we are getting, -2 we are getting. Numbers which is not possible to obtain are -9, -7, -5, 0, 2, 7, 9 and 11. So these numbers are not possible when we are rolling the dice and we are adding both the integers by looking that.